Tu Diep greeted everyone with a warm smile, saying, "Hello everyone. Thank you for always following us. I wish you all good health and peace." The story begins one morning when Diep's mother went to work in the fields and met the neighbor who asked about Diep. "Neighbor, where are you going? I heard your daughter is very cute." "Mother, I thought she went to work far away. I heard she's rich now and dating some chairman." "Neighbor, I heard she ran after some rich man and got beaten badly." "Mother, is it true that my daughter got seriously injured and is now at someone's house?" "Neighbor, yes, she's at Chairman James' house. I thought your daughter was working far away." "Mother, I thought she was working far away too, but it turns out she's caught up in all this because of her obsession with rich men." Diep's mother, deeply concerned, quickly went home to find Diep and clarify what had happened. Meanwhile, at Phuong Bac General Hospital, James was taking Diep for a checkup. "James, we're here, let's go get you checked." "Diep, okay, I'll go with you." They waited for their turn. James handled the paperwork for Diep's medical checkup. Diep was getting her health checked by the doctor. James waited as they moved to the next room. In the blood test room, Diep waited for her blood sample to be taken. Next, they moved to the ultrasound room. James waited while Diep had an abdominal and shoulder ultrasound. The results came back and they proceeded to the next checkup. In the electrocardiogram, ECG room, James waited while Diep was getting her ECG test. They then moved to check her chest, waiting for the call from the doctor. In the CT scan room, Diep went in for the CT scan while James waited. After the scan, they sat waiting for the results. "James, are you worried?" Diep, "Yes, I'm a little worried." James, "Don't worry, we'll get the results soon." Diep, "I hope everything's okay." James, "Don't worry, I'm here with you." Diep, "Thank you for always caring about me." James, "It's nothing, I'm supposed to do this." The doctor came out. James, "What's the result?" Doctor, "We'll need to check the results again with the doctor for more details." James, "Is everything okay?" Doctor, "Yes, everything seems fine. Don't worry, we'll make sure." James reassured Diep. James, "We don't need to worry anymore. Everything is fine." Diep, "Thank you for being here with me." James, "Don't worry, let's go home now." The story ends with Diep recovering and feeling reassured, thanks to James' caring attention. James's father, Mr. Vangcio, was at home when he received a report from an employee. Employee, "Please have some water." Vangcio, "Thank you, Chairman." Employee, "I'm here to report on the results for the past 3 months." Vangcio, "Please go ahead." Employee, "For the past 3 months things were steady at first, but this month we had some issues with the lumber coming in. The costs were higher, so our revenue has decreased by 10% this month compared to the last 2 months. Employee, "Also, with Mr. Hung being away, it's been hard to manage everything. I've tried reaching out to him, but he hasn't responded, so I wasn't sure how to report this to you." Vangcio, "I've sent Mr. Hung abroad, so please report directly to me from now on." Employee, "Here are the company's financial documents and the revenue report for the past 3 months." Vangcio, "All right, good. Keep up the hard work." Employee, "Thank you, Chairman. Does this mean I report to you from now on?" Vangcio, "Yes, just report to me from now on." Employee, "Thank you, Chairman. I'll take my leave now." As the employee left, Diep's mother arrived at the door calling out, "Is anyone home?" Vangcio, "Come in." Mother, "Who are you?" Vangcio, "I'm Vangcio. What's the matter? What do you need?" Mother, "Are you the man who—" Vangcio, "Sit down, let's talk." Mother, "Do you know my daughter Diep?" Vangcio, "I know her, but I didn't know she was your daughter." Mother, "Did you hurt her? Is it true that she's been in a coma for days?" Vangcio, "It wasn't intentional. Diep saved my life and that's how this happened." Mother, "Where is she now?" Vangcio, "She's recovering and James is taking her to the hospital today." Mother, "Didn't you stop them from being together?" Vangcio, "Yes, I did at first. But now I've realized my mistakes, and I'm not stopping them anymore." Mother, "I know you're rich, but you can't look down on my daughter. Just because you're wealthy, you won't live forever." Mother, I won't allow you to make my daughter stay away from your son just because you think money can solve everything. Look what's happened now. My daughter is hurt because of you. Vangcio. I know I was wrong. I did give Diep money and told her to stay away from my son. I've wronged her, and I regret it deeply. But I've realized my mistakes, and I've been waiting to apologize to her when she wakes up. Mother. I won't forgive you for what you've done. I'm here to take my daughter home. Vangcio. Please just let her stay here and rest for a while. I'm truly sorry for everything. Mother. No. I'm taking her home now. I don't want her to stay here with you. Vangcio. Please sit down. If you're tired, rest for a bit. We can talk later. Mother. I don't want to stay here with these rich people. I want my daughter home with me. At that moment, Diep and James arrived back home. Diep. Hello, Dad. I'm back. Mother. My daughter. You're back. Diep. I'm okay, Mom. I'm fine. Mother. I've been so worried about you. Diep. I'm really fine, Mom. Don't cry. I'm okay. Mother. You said you were going to work far away, but now look at you. What happened? Diep. James is the one who helped me when I was in trouble. I couldn't leave him when he was being hurt by others. That's why I stayed to help him. Diep. It's just an unfortunate event, but I'm fine now, Mom. I'm just worried about the chickens and ducks at the farm too. Diep. I don't want to leave James, Mom. He's such a good person. His father is a bit strict, but I care about James. Diep. But I'm still weak, so I'll stay with you for now. Mother. I don't want you to be with James. Come home with me. Diep. Please, Mom. I want to stay with James. James. I understand your concerns, but Diep is getting better, and I want to make sure she's fully recovered. After that, she can come back to the farm. Diep. James is good to me, Mom. He takes care of me. I don't want to leave him. Mother. I can't let you be with him. You're from a poor family, but James is from a rich family. They look down on us. Diep. I know, Mom, but I want to be with James. He's the one I love. James. Don't worry, Diep. We'll figure this out. You're the most important to me, and I'll always be here for you. Diep's mother sat down, her face still full of concern. She looked at James and then at her daughter, still processing everything that had happened. Mother. I can see that you really care for each other, but you need to understand, Diep, the world isn't as kind as it seems. There are many things I want to protect you from, especially when it comes to people like him. James, who had been quietly listening, stood up and said gently, trying to reassure Diep's mother, James. I understand your concerns and I respect them, but I promise you Diep means the world to me. I will take care of her just like she deserves. I'll make sure nothing bad happens to her. Diep's mother hesitated, clearly torn between her love for her daughter and her fear for her future. She turned to Diep, her voice softening as she spoke. Mother. I know you love him, but I've seen how people like him can hurt others. It's hard for me to just stand back and watch this. Diep. I know, Mom. I understand you're scared, but this isn't like before. James and we've been through a lot. He's always been there for me. You have to trust me on this one. Mother. But you're still my little girl. I can't just let you walk into this world without knowing how hard it can be. James, trying to ease the tension, sat next to Diep and held her hand. James. I know it's hard to let go. I've seen it with my own parents. But all I can say is that Diep has made me a better person. And I won't let anything happen to her. I'll make sure of it. There was a long pause as Diep's mother looked from her daughter to James, and then she sighed, clearly conflicted. Mother. I know you mean well, James. It's just hard for me to accept. But if you truly care for her, I guess I can't keep standing in the way. Diep smiled softly, grateful for her mother's reluctant acceptance. Diep. Thank you, Mom. I promise I'll be careful, and I'll make sure nothing bad happens. Mother. I just want you to be happy, but don't forget where you come from. Don't forget about the people who will always have your back. James nodded, his voice sincere. James. I will never forget, I promise, and I'll always be here for her. The room was filled with a tense silence, but there was also a glimmer of understanding between Diep's mother and James. After a few moments, Deep's mother stood up and sighed again. Mother, I still don't fully agree with this, but I'll give you my blessing. Just take care of her, James. That's all I want. Deep's face lit up with relief, and she hugged her mother tightly. Deep, thank you, Mom. I love you. Mother, I love you too, my girl. Just be careful, okay? James smiled warmly, relieved to have her blessing, even if it was still hesitant. He gave Deep's mother a respectful nod. James, I will. Thank you for trusting me. With that, Deep's mother gave a small smile before walking toward the door. Mother, I'll leave you two alone now. But remember, I'll always be here if you need me. As she left, Deep and James exchanged a quiet, heartfelt look. Deep leaned into James, feeling a sense of peace knowing that despite everything, her family's love and support were still there. James, we'll get through this together, Deep. One step at a time. Deep smiled, her heart full of warmth. Deep, I know. Thank you for being with me every step of the way. As they sat there side by side, the bond between them only grew stronger. They knew that no matter the challenges ahead, they would face them together. And that for now was enough. As the sun set, Deep and her mother sat down to talk, their conversation filled with emotion. Deep was trying to explain her feelings, hoping her mother would understand. Deep started, her voice gentle but firm. Mom, James is not at fault for what happened. He and I really love each other. If I leave now without telling him anything, I know he'll be worried about me. Her mother, though concerned and skeptical, looked at her daughter, still worried about the things she had heard. I know, but people in the village are saying that you're only interested in him because he's rich. They think you're after money, but that's not true, right? Deep shook her head softly. Mom, it's not about his money. Yes, James is wealthy, but I love him for who he is. I can't just leave him, not when he's been so good to me. Her mother sighed, her heart conflicted, but she still felt the weight of what people were saying. I understand, but I can't bear people looking down on us just because of him. It's not fair to you. Deep looked at her mother with earnest eyes. Mom, I know you're worried about me, but I'm not leaving him just because of his wealth. It's because I care for him deeply, and he's shown me nothing but love. If I walk away now, I'll feel like I've betrayed him. Her mother paused for a moment, her eyes softening. Well, if James truly loves you and you love him, I won't stand in your way anymore. But I still hope you'll be careful. Deep smiled, grateful for her mother's understanding. Thank you, Mom. It means a lot to me. The conversation turned to the practicalities of their lives. Deep asked, slightly tired but with a sense of duty. Mom, do you need help with the chickens and ducks? I can take care of them for you. Her mother, ever concerned about Deep's health, hesitated. You should rest, Deep. You've been through a lot. I can handle the animals today. Deep shook her head, feeling the need to stay busy. I'll be fine, Mom. I can handle it. I just don't want to sit here and think too much. Her mother sighed, giving in. All right, just don't overdo it. As Deep went outside to take care of the animals, her mind wandered. She thought about James and how much he had done for her. She realized that, despite the challenges, her heart was set on him. When she returned, her mother was preparing dinner. Mom, can I help with the cooking? Deep offered, her voice filled with warmth. Her mother smiled, appreciating her daughter's willingness. Of course, Deep. You can help me with the rice. Just don't push yourself too much. Deep nodded, relieved to be helping her mother, and they both worked together to prepare the meal. After some time, Deep's brother Tuan arrived with a roasted duck. He placed it on the table, a bright smile on his face. Deep, you're here. I brought a roasted duck. Come eat with us. Deep smiled and thanked him, glad to have a moment of peace amid all the worries. Thank you, Tuan. That sounds delicious. As they sat down to eat, Tuan brought up James. I heard that James' situation at work has been resolved, right? Deep nodded. Yes, everything is going well for him now. The meal was filled with conversation and a sense of normalcy, but Deep's mother still couldn't shake her concern for her daughter. She quietly prayed, hoping that things would work out for them. May God bless us with good health, she prayed softly, as they all joined hands for a brief prayer before continuing their meal. Later, while eating, Deep felt the need to bring up something important. Mom, I know this is hard, but James and I are really in love. I hope you can understand. Her mother, though still feeling conflicted, nodded slowly. I just don't want you to be hurt, Diepp. But if he makes you happy, then I can't stop you. Diepp smiled and felt the weight on her chest lighten. She knew there were still obstacles to face, but with her mother's blessing, she felt hopeful for the future. I'll take care of everything, Mom. James will be there for me, and I'll be there for him. Her mother, after a long pause, finally spoke with a resigned but loving tone. All right, Diepp. Just promise me that you'll be careful, and don't forget about your family. Of course, Mom. I'll never forget you. The evening passed quietly as they finished their meal. Diepp knew that things might not always be easy, but with the love of her family and James, she felt ready to face whatever came her way. Tuan took Diepp to meet James. Diepp sat down, taking a deep breath. Her voice was filled with sincerity as she spoke to James, trying to reassure him despite the weight of their situation. Diepp, James, I want you to know you're not at fault for any of this. The truth is, I really do love you and you love me too. If I leave now without telling you anything, I know you'll be worried about me. James looked at her, his heart heavy with concern, but also understanding the depth of her words. He softly replied, I know, Diepp, but I also understand how difficult this must be for you. Your mother, she's worried, and I can feel the pressure she's putting on you. Diepp continued, her voice barely above a whisper. I know what people are saying in the village about me being after your wealth. They think I'm just interested in money, but that's not true. It's about you and me, our feelings for each other. And I can't leave you now, especially when I see how much you care for me. James sighed deeply, nodding in agreement. I understand. It's hard to ignore what people think. But if it were me, I'd feel the same way. I know your mother is only looking out for you, and I know she's upset, but I can't just stand by and let her think that about us. I will prove to her that my love for you is real. Diepp looked down, her heart torn between her loyalty to James and her mother's wishes. I'm afraid, James. What if she doesn't approve? What if she never accepts us? I want to be with you, but I don't want to hurt my family. James gently placed his hand on hers, his voice reassuring. I understand, Diepp, and I'll wait. I'll prove to her that I'm serious about you. I will show her that my love for you is not just words. It's something real. But for now, I think it's best if you stay with her for a while. Let her see that you're happy, and that I'll always be here for you. We'll get through this together. Diepp nodded, feeling comforted by his words, but still anxious about what the future held. I hope she'll understand. I really do. But I don't want to lose you, James. You won't lose me, James said softly, a smile playing at the corner of his lips. No matter what, I'll be here. And when the time comes, I'll ask for her blessing. I'll show her that we can make it work. They sat in silence for a moment, each lost in their own thoughts. Then Diepp spoke again, her voice tinged with uncertainty. What if she never accepts us? What if I'm always stuck in the middle, torn between you and her? James squeezed her hand gently. Don't worry, Diepp. Everything will work out. We've already overcome so much, and this is just another hurdle. We'll face it together. And remember, I'm not going anywhere. I'll fight for us, for our love. As the conversation continued, both of them grew more determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Diepp felt her worries ease, knowing that James was by her side. Despite the tension with her mother, she knew that with time, everything would be okay. Later that evening, as they prepared to part ways for a while, James said, I'll take care of everything. I'll come see you when I can. Don't worry about anything. I'll be here for you always. Diepp smiled, her heart filled with a mixture of hope and love. Thank you, James. I'll wait for you no matter how long it takes. As they said their goodbyes, both knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but their love for each other would help them overcome whatever obstacles they might face. And no matter what, they would always find a way back to each other.
Như nhà sàn của người Tày, nhà Lông, nhà Dông của người Mông. Những phong tục tập quán này đã được bảo tồn và phát triển qua nhiều thế hệ, tạo nên bản sắc văn hóa đa dạng và phong tục phong phú của các dân tộc người thiểu số ở vùng núi. Dân tộc thiểu số là những nhóm dân tộc có một số lượng rất là ít so với dân tộc đa số trong một số quốc gia và vùng lãnh thổ. Tại Việt Nam có 54 dân tộc thiểu số, chiếm khoảng 15% tổng dân số của Việt Nam. Một số dân tộc thiểu số tại Việt Nam bao gồm như người Tày, sinh sống chủ yếu tại các tỉnh phía Bắc, Lạng Sơn, Cao Bằng, Bắc Kạn. Người Thái sinh sống chủ yếu ở các tỉnh phía